Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to those of you around the world. Welcome to the daily Trade the Chain crypto update, where we give you everything you need to know for the next 24 hours and hopefully the next few days. Today is Thursday, January 4th, and we are coming at you live from the end of the first week of the U.S. trading session, I should say. Sorry, I got a little tongue-tied there. Apologies also, no video today, running into some technical difficulties, but as long as you guys can hear me and see the screen, all should be well. So total crypto market cap, nice little improvement there, 2.5%, about in line with Bitcoin's rise, about 2.5% as well, back above 44K. ETH at about 2% up, back to 2274. Both Bitcoin and Ethereum daily sentiment. Bitcoin is in that bullish territory. ETH is in that 59 level, which is neutral, but obviously 60 is the official bullish level. So looking pretty good there. Average daily sentiment across all cryptos, about 54 out of 100. So good zone there. Total trading volume back down to 75 billion. Obviously, yesterday was a big day with all of the volatility that ensued, but we're still, well above that 60, 70 number that we like to see. And then total tweet volume is up, so retail still excited. Some of the big winners today: REV, MXC. I think that's MEXC's token, our WRX, Noya, APT. I've been telling the TTC community that L1s and L2s should continue to be consistent outperformers, and we obviously saw SCI, SUI, SUI, APT is up, Metis is up, ARB is up. So a lot of there's ARB, not too heavy today, but did have a really good yet it had a great recovery yesterday, and I think got above those local highs, possibly all-time highs as well. And then stablecoin exchange flows seeing some big inflows over the past 24 hours, well outweighing the outflows. So that is definitely good for possible higher price action. Looking at Bitcoin, let's actually get a little refresh going for Bitcoin and Ethereum, make sure that we have all of the most live data. So Bitcoin daily sentiment did obviously continue to decline yesterday, but recovered, early this morning and is obviously on the up and up. That's great with Bitcoin holding those lows. And then Ethereum obviously took a little bit harder of a dip, got into that bearish territory, but did stay above that 40 level, which we've always, kind of marked out as a very critical level. And obviously sentiment is on the up and up along with price action. ETH also, held those lows from yesterday, which is definitely what we want to see. So DXY, we talked about this 101, this 102.4, 102.5 level being critical for kind of bullish or bearish for DXY, and obviously breaking above the 102.4, 102.5 level, you'd run up to 103.6 like we discussed yesterday, and then breaking below this level, you drop to at least 101.7 or 101.8, I should say, which is this low right here. And then at worst down to 101. And again, just as a reminder, we have unemployment data tomorrow morning. So obviously we'll all wake up to that data. We want to see wage inflation down. And we also want to see the unemployment rate not increase too much. So it was previously at 3.7. It's expected to rise to 3.8. We obviously want that to stay, at the expected number and not rise. Hourly wage inflation, you can definitely, we would prefer to see something like maybe a 3.8. But 3.9 is obviously should be sufficient. It is continually a decrease. So things do look good, in my opinion, for DXY to probably pull back. But if it does rise, it will be because we did not get the unemployment numbers that we wanted. Looking at equities, I've been saying for a while, I said this yesterday, I'll say it again today. This level down here, a very critical level. Need to maintain price above the 46.93 level for bullish market structure to stay intact. That is currently the case. Now it does get a little bit tricky, and I'm going to kind of focus in on the recent price action, but obviously kind of got this little double bottom here, so that's certainly good. But you also kind of have this double top right here, beneath the lows from last Tuesday. So worrisome. So we're basically stuck inside a little range here. Moral of the story is, and obviously for the TTC community, we broke above 47.17 and we made it up to that 47.30 number. Obviously it got rejected immediately back down. So moral of the story is we're sitting, this is just a range right here. You've got your lows, you've got your highs, right? And so we're just kind of ping-ponging around, right? So eventually it's going to do one of the two, either break below 46.93 or break above this level right here and move up to 47.48, maybe higher. Obviously, you know, and obviously if we get above these 47.48 level, then we can start to, you know, really target those local highs again. So for equities, there's no reason to worry yet. There is a reason to start to be concerned, because obviously below this level, we break our market structure and possibly start to have a bearish trend. But as it stands right now, there is no information that shows a broken bullish trend yet. Therefore, I'm still bullish on equities until we see that trend break. But this is definitely where you need to pay attention closely. Obviously, I'm hoping that good unemployment data tomorrow will propel this higher, and hopefully get us, you know, up to that 4,800 level, possibly 4,820, which is, I think, the all-time high. But right now, not too much concern. But one other perspective that I've been taking with equities and crypto is, as long as equities are heading higher, so will crypto. So if equities start to put in bearish indicators, then that'll make me rethink a little bit of my crypto bias and really start to dig into the charts to see if I'm missing anything from a bull or bear perspective. But right now, not entirely too worried. Critical levels again for equities, 46.93, and then for the low side, and then for what we need to break above is about 47.28, 47.30 to continue higher. So that's what I am looking at for equities. Now, let's move over to crypto. Now, TTC community obviously always gets the, you know, the information beforehand. So break above 43.3, make it up to 43.8, hold above 43.8. We should be able to get up to that 44.5, 44.6 level. Obviously, we did kind of run up as close as we could, but now we're kind of forming a bull flag. So as long as 43.8 holds, 44.5, 44.6 should be in the cards next. And then, of course, if we can get above that, then that should be the springboard to get us back to those local highs right around 45.8K. And then, obviously, if we break below 43.8, then we would hope that the 43.3 level would hold. Else, we would look back to the 42.6, 42.7 level, which is where, which I told you yesterday was critical for holding for continuation higher. So Bitcoin is in a pretty simple standpoint, and, you know, again, zooming out, this is, you know, still bullish market structure in my opinion. You're still forming higher lows, even though that low is technically lower than these others. The, you know, the area of value, the area where most money was exchanged, still above that previous low from December 29th. So everything still looks good in my opinion for Bitcoin. But we obviously want to see some continuation higher. We do not want to see much weakness heading into January 10th, especially with equities looking a little bit more weak, not out, not down or not out, but definitely looking a little bit more weak. So we want to see Bitcoin kind of power through, maybe lead the equities charge, or maybe just kind of creep higher along with equities. So that's what we're looking at for Bitcoin today. Let's move over to the Ethereum charts. I'm just going to go ahead. Actually, I didn't realize I had those indicators down there. So I'm just going to kind of get rid of those because it's not too important for what we're looking at right now. So I told the TTC community, break above 22.52. You should be able to run up to 23.07. Obviously, we had the weekly VWAP and 1 hour estimated 200 moving average there. So it's getting kind of caught up underneath that weekly VWAP. That's not abnormal, but again, above that weekly VWAP is going to be even better for possible continuation higher. So I do think based on current formation, we should hit 23.06 today or maybe into the evening. And then, of course, above 23.05, 23.06, then we should be able to jump back up to 23.56. And then obviously same kind of deal there, jump above 23.56. you can head higher. And then obviously these levels are, if we reject off of 2305, then we'll get sent back to 2252. And same thing for 2356. If we get up there and get reject back off of it, then we'll head down to 2305. And kind of continue that game of ping pong. So fortunately, we only moved higher throughout today's session, and I did say yesterday and told the TTC community, as long as these lows hold, we should move higher. That's kind of the big line in the sand. So if you were kind of, and we did talk about that for Bitcoin yesterday as well, is kind of using those local lows as potential backstop. And now I think the concerning thing for this trade that I suggested yesterday is we kind of put that initial stop at that 42 level, but we did initially say if it broke below 42.7, that you should probably cut and then look to buy back lower. So it wasn't obviously the best trade suggestion. I think ETH actually, where I was wrong, actually no, I would have been wrong on ETH, because actually there was a nice little stop hunt play there. But as you can see, the general thesis was correct. If you hold 42.7, obviously there was a play here that murdered a lot of trades. But the moral of the story was hold 42.7, move higher. So we did obviously end up holding 42.7 and we moved higher. So that's kind of the general play. Definitely, this is a tricky formation. That's why it just kind of suggested buying spot bags and being very patient, because this is going to be predatory right here. Obviously, very predatory move. Then it's going to be predatory following because people are now getting leveraged long, and then they're going to be sketchy because they've got all this room down here. So just a very weird trade in general. And that's obviously why sometimes better just to wait for the next session, wait for some price action to develop, wait for a trend to form, and then we can kind of attack that next. So I do think ETH will probably end up at 2305. Whether it gets to 2355 is anyone's guess from that standpoint, but above the weekly VWAP, above the 1 hour estimated 200 moving average, above this resistance level, things do look very good. So I'm not going to go over too many altcoins today, because obviously TTC community gets all of the good stuff, and I don't want to share too much of what we share in there on here. But as I said before, L1s, L2s should continue to be massive outperformers in the near term as we lead up to the ETF. I think L1s and L2s will be even better performers after the ETF, but of course, there's still a lot of confusion around what will happen at or around the ETF announcement. And so I don't want to get anyone's hopes up, because there could be a mass sell event for a buy the dip. We could just continue higher. We're still kind of deciphering exactly what decisions we're going to take, but it does seem likely things will continue to creep higher into January 10th. Whether it's explosive higher, I'm not sure, but I do think we'll continue to inch higher. And most coins should kind of reach back to those, at least the strong coins such as Bitcoin, ETH, L1s, L2s should creep back up to those at least local highs, I would say, before January 10th, and possibly higher, like we saw ARB move higher. We saw, I think, SEI move higher. APT moved higher today. So, a lot of coins are definitely out there. So, so I did get a question. Apologies, new type, just seeing this. So there's such a chart that shows the S&P without the Mag 7, like a S&P 493. So there are different kind of like indexes and stuff like that. But there's what you would have to do is you would have to do, I think, do AMZN. I think you'd have to do like AMZ. I forget exactly how you do this. AMZM SPY. Let's do AMZN MSFT, see if that works. There is a way. Oh, here we go. It's the plus MSFT. Yeah, so there you go. So for new type, so you may be able to Google something that shows like Google S&P minus the Magnificent Seven. That may pop up. But if you, I know you don't want to do plus signs for 493 assets, but if you are looking for like certain baskets or kind of building your own index, then you can just go to TradingView and just do the plus sign. You can also do like multiplications and stuff too, which I think they use for, I think they use that for Forex or something. But yeah, this is the easiest way. I don't think that there's an S&P. There's a forestry, it's forestry and paper. Yeah, there's the 3x ones. Oh, there's S&P. So you can do like S&P Energy, S&P Utilities, S&P Financials, S&P 100. But I don't think there's any way to just subtract. Well, actually, let's do this. SPX. Let's do, what is the Magnificent Seven? Of course, it's going to be slow because I'm running a video in like 10 charts. So Amazon, Apple, let's see if it does this. So where are we at? The Bitcoin right here? No, we were right here. Meta, Nvidia, Tesla, Microsoft, Nvidia, Tesla, MSFT. There you go. So I'd say that is probably the most simple way of doing that new type. So again, for anyone who's watching now, new listener said, is there such a chart that shows S&P without the Magnificent Seven? What I did was I pulled up the SPX, and then I just used the arithmetic functions on the search bar. So just SPX minus the Magnificent Seven, and then that gave me this number, which is 2,800. And I think the S&P, it's sitting at 4,700. So just minus those two slashes 2,000 points of value, which is almost half. So about 40% of value comes from the Magnificent Seven. So that was a fun thought experiment. That was a good question to type. So, but with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Appreciate everybody listening. Of course, you can join TTC for 14 days free by heading to www.tradethechain.com. 14-day free trial comes with everything: data, community, emails, daily updates, all that fun stuff. So please go ahead and sign up, else I will see everyone tomorrow. So good luck, happy trading, see you tomorrow.